Good morning and welcome to Tricks of the Trade. I'm John Allen, going to be here with you the next hour, and got my partner here, Mr. Jimmy Duke, and we got all kinds of little things to talk about this morning.
Man, we do indeed. We are 1 week away from Christmas Day. You
Say it
believe
isn't
that?
so.
It is. You better get your Walmart bags out and go to shopping now.
Last place I'll go.
I like their bags. I know that's about the extent of it for me out there also. Yeah.
I say that because I don't really like to get in the midst of all those crowds.
Right.
But there's crowds everywhere right now because I'm finding out there's more people like me that hadn't done it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm hearing two stories. One says that they're not finding that much of a shortage. Maybe it's what they were looking for, but others say they're very disappointed because they can't find the things that they're looking for. So.
Well, it's a little difficult, I'm told, when you're looking for the youngins. The little toys that they are talking. I'm still trying to figure out what some of them are. Like this, I think they say fidgets.
Oh yeah, fidget spinners.
Yeah, I think I know what they are, and I think I actually saw one. But when you were little, that's what your mama slapped you for when you were fidgeting in church.
That's what this is supposed to do, is to keep you from fidgeting.
It's an anti-fidget device.
Yeah. The ones that I've seen, the ones that my grandgirls had, it had like 3 points, like triangular.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
And then you take it between this finger and this finger, your thumb and your first finger, and you hold it like that, and then you spin it.
Now say that again. It went.
Yeah, that was when I dropped it, I think. The problem with the ones they had, my little old fat short fingers, it kept bumping my hand and it wouldn't spin too well. So.
But what does it do?
No, it spins. That's it.
In this technological world, that's all it does.
They've gone back to basics.
No lights.
There's no, at least the ones I saw now.
Yeah,
no, it's just basic, very basic. You hold it between two fingers and make it go around.
It just shows that people will buy anything.
Just about.
But it's all right if that's what makes them happy.
That's true. That's very
good.
true. We need to remind everybody that we need to talk to you this morning. This will be the last Tricks of the Trade for the year 2021. Next week, obviously, will be Christmas Day. Following week and New Year's Day, and we'll be off those 2 days. So this is your last chance to get some information from John Allen this morning, no matter what the project is or what the problem may be. Call us. The text lines are open at 731-277-5155 or 731-410-7560. That's your text lines. You can come that way, or if you want to call and talk to us, we'd be more than happy to talk to you on the air. The Old Town Spaghetti Store hotline is 731-423-8101. And remind you, of course, you're listening to us on 101.5 FM here in downtown Jackson. You can also pick us up on Facebook. It is 101.5 WNWS News Talk. So just put that in there. Probably we'll grab it at about 101.5, but you should be able to pick us up there.
So many ways to be confused.
It is. It's a confusing world. Speaking of confusing, there is another text telling me that my last package of Christmas is supposed to be there today.
It's amazing how they do that.
It has now left the building. It is on the way to my home.
Does it have a chip?
I bet it does. No, it does not. No, this is a piece of clothing.
How do it know?
I guess that little stamp on the outside, a little barcode tells it where to go.
Oh, so it's not actually on the package. It's just you scan that barcode and it tells you when it reaches so far.
Yeah, and then you've seen.
It's kind of like a mile marker.
Exactly. Yeah, you've seen them when they leave a box on your porch, and you've seen them hit it, scan it with that. With that, and that goes to the computer, and then a few minutes later you get a text saying your package is on the porch. Why haven't you picked it up?
Well, the very same thing like that happened to me this week with my granddaughter.
Somebody left her on your front porch?
No. See, and this just kind of amazed me because she's old enough to where I let her pick out what she wanted for Christmas.
Sure.
And it was a pair of shoes. And she says, "Now, Papa, I'm going to order this." And I let her order it on my phone because I didn't know how.
Yep.
And she got it all in there, and then she started calling me. Is it there yet? Is it there yet? And she says, well, it says it's, and she would give some destination point that was between here and there. And I said, no, honey, it's not here. Then she calls me up and says, I don't think we put the A on my address at the office is 156A Airways Boulevard. And I don't think I put the A on there. I said, well, that's all right. I'll still probably get it. She says, well, would you go to Sherwin-Williams and find it? So anyway, I go to Sherwin-Williams and, hey, you happen to got a box in there that's square, looks like a pair of shoes? And no, we hadn't got it. Well, the day it came, before I even knew it was in my office, she calls me and says, my package just arrived. And I said, what? She said, yeah, it's there. I know it's there. I just got notified. And I went out front. Sure enough, there it was.
Yep.
How does it know?
I don't know. Between what the delivery companies do, it depends on how much information you want. I found that out because I just marked everything. It says, how do you want to be notified? And I just marked everything. And so I'm getting them on the email. I'm getting them on the text. I think if I got the right TV station, probably in a commercial break would be my package notification. And then my Ring doorbell goes off every time they come to the front door. The other day, I thought I was getting a package delivery. There was a squirrel on my front porch. He set the doorbell off.
Nut to nut delivery.
I'm telling you, that's right. Who's leaving what here, right?
And yet, we got all that technological stuff. And why is it that I still can't get my church bulletin until it's 3 days after the Sunday it was intended for?
I think we may be missing a chip.
Obviously, there's something wrong. I don't know. Well, we better get back to what we're here for.
While I've got you all lathered up over there.
Yeah, all right.
All right. You and I are the two key components of a group known as Technological Dinosaurs.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Proud of it.
We lead the pack. So we're always griping about things that don't do what they used to do, or in the same manner. One of them has nothing to do with technology, but we did it anyway, and that is the fact that Rice Krispies no longer talk to you in the same voice they used to. They're smaller, and they are the wrong color.
Exactly.
Right.
That's an awful color. Doesn't even look good.
No. Well, brace yourself.
Uh-huh.
They've done it again. The
Now
cereal
what?
box white coats are at it again, and they've been monkeying around with our Rice Krispies.
I'm looking. Now, what we got here?
Look at it.
Oh, no.
They're
Green and red.
Rice Krispies.
Of course, this means
Yeah,
war.
hold it up in front of the camera. there.
This is just like ridiculous. Green and red.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, it's
Look at that.
it's seasonal. I'm
Seasonal.
told, but the boxes will be there until February because they're not going to sell that many of them. But
Well, they probably all the.
when my
I
wife,
got nothing.
When my wife brought that home, I said, "Oh, this is going to be fun. John's going to love this." Anyway, so get your seasonal Rice Krispies, folks. They're out there, and they're still edible, though. I made sure of that.
Well, they got this dumb. I got to watch my language here. Society that we live in right now,
Yeah.
where idiots are ruling the world. It's kind of hard to find your favorite stuff in the store anymore because it's the wrong pictures on the front of it. Can't find my pancakes.
That's true. Yeah, it's not called what it used to be called.
Yeah, and it's just like, why? And why is that really? Does that really matter? But anyway.
The same thing happened with grits.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't find quick grits anymore. They're either the kind that you have to take a little labor and intensive to do, or they're instant, where you just pour some water on there, throw them in the microwave.
And I heard the other day they're not even going to be, and I don't drink these things anyway, but there's going to no longer be any Diet Cokes.
Really?
It's going to be, the name is changing.
Well, they have Diet Coke and they have Coke with Coke Zero Sugar.
Yes.
Is the big name, but everybody I know of them calls them Coke Zero.
Yeah, well, that's just it. They're changing the name.
Yeah.
They're taking the word diet out because that's not appropriate this day and age.
Oh, well, somebody got offended because they were on a diet.
I'm sure they did, and I'm sure there's a federal lawsuit somewhere.
Some heifer.
Some old heifer, some old fat heifer that sitting there with food overflowing on her plate and wanting to order a Diet Coke.
We in trouble now. They came out with. They had your basic Coca-Cola, and then they messed up royally when they came out with the new Coke.
Yeah.
And nobody liked it.
Yeah.
So they went back to the old Coke, the 6-ounce bottle type Coke.
Yeah.
So when they came out with Diet Coke, and then a little later they came out with Coke Zero, which honestly I like better than Diet Coke.
Uh-huh.
I asked a friend of mine who works for a Coca-Cola derivative, one of their side companies.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the difference? Because you can honestly taste the difference. He said what they were told from Coca-Cola, Diet Coke is the new Coke formula with no sugar, with artificial sweetener.
Mm-hmm.
Coke Zero is the original Coke recipe with no sugar. That's what I was told. But there is a difference.
What I want is a real, sure enough, honest to goodness, old-fashioned Coke.
6-ounce Coke in a bottle.
Yeah, cold.
Yeah, man.
And that way I can take my claw hammer or my folding ruler and pop the top off of it, drink it up, and burp loudly.
There you go. Do you ever open one on the inside lock of a car door?
No.
Oh yeah, you could. Well, you used to be able to. They're probably electronic now. I don't know, but you used to be able to put it in there on that little hook thing where the door closed.
Yeah.
If you got it just in the right place, you put it in there at the angle and then hit it with your back of your hand and it'd pop right off.
Well, that's what I did on my Formica countertops, like right here, the square edge. You can lay it on there and pop it, and it pops the top off. So much for these young people to learn.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we stole Rice Krispies and Cokes this morning. So let's get on to something else.
Well, I had a couple of things that when we do this show up here, it's kind of based on real life stuff.
Yeah.
And things I run into during the week and typical seasonal things that come up. And one of them that this week has kind of been one of the dominant wants for Christmas, or I wouldn't say want for Christmas, it's just getting ready for cold weather, which it's going to turn cold tonight.
It is.
Thank goodness.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, this 70-degree stuff, it's
December.
tough on the old fat man in the red suit, But anyway, weather stripping's coming up pretty bad, especially when you get a little winds behind it. And I get so tickled watching these 30-minute home improvement shows of these yahoos that don't know how to get out of a wet paper bag telling you how to weather strip a door. Here's what happens. People will go and they'll buy weather stripping to go around the perimeter of your door. Mm-hmm. And they will actually try to follow the instructions, which is wrong. But anyway, they will open the door, and then they will ever so carefully take the weather stripping strips and put it up where it says to put it. Mm-hmm. And then they will tack it.
Right.
And then they'll put the top piece up and the other side up. And then they'll go, and it looks so pretty. They got every little nail right where it needs to be. They filled every little hole. Everything's so slick and smooth.
Right.
And then they'll close the door, and the door pops right back in their face because the latch won't work.
Yeah.
Or the latch will work, and then they got a big old gap between the weather stripping and the door because the door wasn't perfect and it might have bowed or was warped a little over the year.
Sure.
So let me take all the guesswork out of this and tell you how to properly weather strip a door. Simplest fashion, not a problem at all. So here you go. Go to the store and get you a surface mounted weather stripping kit. Now that's got the little bulb on the edge of it and a little wide strip, metal strip. It can be metal or it can be vinyl, and it's got little holes in it where you put your nails.
Right.
Nails, not screws, but nails.
Okay.
Now, with the door closed, that is the key thing right there. With the door closed, you lay that weather stripping up on the door jamb, and push it gently up against the door. Now, don't force it up in there. You don't want to compress the bulb.
Right.
Just push it up to the door. That way the weather stripping that you're fixing to attach to the jamb conforms to the shape of the door. So that way everything gets sealed out and air can't get in, the light can't come around, everything's good. So put it up there, and when you're driving those little bitty, teeny tiny, teensy weensy nails in, you could, if your fingers are not too fat,
Oh, well.
you can start them in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you'll take those little nails and get you a piece of paper, stick the nail through the paper, and then hold the paper and the nail up where it belongs and put it and drive it in. Now, before you hit that last lick of the hammer, stop.
Okay.
I mean, and that way, because that way, if you need to adjust it a little bit later on, you can. But when you get everything properly fitting, your door opens and closes like it needs to. Then go back and hit that final little whop with a hammer to set that nail, and then you're in good shape. You'll take a job that you probably, if you did it the way they tell you to do it, it'll take you a good hour or more because you're going to be redoing it several times to get it to fit right. Or you can do it the way I just told you, and you're done in 30 minutes at the most, unless you're a total imbecile, and put it up there, and everything's fine. You can custom fit your weather stripping to your door.
Wow.
And that way it's good and airtight, and do it on a sunny day, because you can find out real quick if you did a good job or not by closing the door with the sun shining on it. You're on the inside, and if you see daylight around the door, you didn't do it right. But if you've got it adjusted or you don't see the daylight, chances are you won't feel the wind coming through either.
That'll work.
So that works out real good.
Now, my particular door, I have metal doors on the outside. There are three of them, okay? They don't have that kind of stripping on there. They have the little groove where that little bulb you're talking about just kind of slides into it. So unless you just mess up completely in cutting the length of that thing, it's very easy. It's easy enough for me to do.
Well, but sometimes when your doors warp, even that won't do it. So what we end up having to do is, while we can replace that, and it is really simple to do that, and there's two different kinds of those. You've got the kind that's the foam strip that go around it.
Right.
And then if you've got a metal door, some of them come with what looks like the little foam strip, but it's got a magnet in it. And it actually
Pulls
it up to the door, and that's really good. Now, if you've got a metal jamb, you got problems there. So then, instead of using the nails to put your weather stripping on, you got two choices. You can either screw a surface-mounted weather stripping kit to the jamb, which, if it's in a masonry wall and you find that jamb slushed in full of concrete behind it, might be a little difficult. You have to drill it out real good in order to do that. Or you can get the kind that stick on.
Right.
And you'll find the weather stripping that sticks on is kind of like a little accordion, and it flexes, and you can pull that paper off the back of it and stick it on the jamb right in the crease of the jamb there that the door slaps up against.
Right.
And you'll be able to fix that real good too. So
very good.
Yeah.
Very
so.
Good. John Allen's Tricks of the Trades on this Saturday morning in Jackson, Tennessee. Text lines are open. We would love to hear from you this morning. 731-277-5155 or 731-410-7560. The the Old Town Spaghetti Store hotline. You can call us there at 423-8101. Got a commercial break coming your way. We'll be right back with more of Tricks of the Trade.
Talked to my doctor, and he said he would highly recommend that I go ahead and get a shot. It doesn't only help me, it helps my family around me and all the people I associate with. So you're not only helping yourself, you're helping your neighbors also. Well, I might have been a little bit hesitant to begin with, but after looking at all the statistics, and I don't see anything after you take the shot, everybody seems to get along with it pretty good. So you have a spot, take your shot.
This is Arkansas, and so is this, and this. It's a place where your adventures can lead to wonders thousands of feet below ground, or to views high above it all. Arkansas is full of things you've never seen, and things worth seeing again and again. So if you're looking for a place to create legendary stories, or just make lasting moments, it's all right here. This is Arkansas. This is the natural state.
Hi, I'm Allie. At age 2, my parents knew that there was something different about me. They were told that my life would not be typical. But Autism Society of America was there to help through all of my journeys. Help make a difference and make a donation. Go to autismsociety.org.
Looking for an easy way to compare bids from contractors you can trust? Search bbb.org for the type of work you need, then request a quote. Just click Get Quotes. You'll soon receive estimates from BBB-accredited businesses. Businesses which meet BBB standards of trust. Peace of mind is just one search away. BBB. Start with trust.
Hey Tennessee, I'm Kix Brooks. I've been blessed to tour this nation from sea to shining sea. And every time that bus rolls back across the state line, I'm reminded how good we have it here in our home state. Whether you like to hunt, fish, or watch wildlife, we got our Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency to thank for it. But before you follow that red dirt road to your favorite fishing hole or hunting spot, there's one thing you need, a license. Just visit GoOutdoorsTennessee.com and you can get your license in minutes.
We are back. It is Tricks of the Trade on a Saturday morning. John Allen, your host, and text lines are open. 277-5155, 410-7560. Put that 731 out there in front of it. Or the call-in line, the Old Town Spaghetti Store call-in line is 423-8101 with a 731 out front. And we're also available to you right now on the Facebook on 101.5 WNWS News Talk. Just dial it up and you can see what's going on. Call us, text us, whatever. While we're talking about doors and string and stuff like that, let me, I'm airing my personal needs right here for just a second. Front door on my house, metal door, what do you call that, a 6-panel, 8-panel door, whatever.
Yeah, six-panel
door, okay. Got that on the front of the house. It faces west, so it gets a lot of heat in the afternoon,
That's right.
especially in the summertime. All right, now, when it's warm and the temperatures are normal, like they have been, 70 degrees stuff, the deadbolt lock, when you flip it to the locked position, slides right in there.
Mm-hmm.
When it starts to get cold, it starts to not slide in there so well.
That's right.
It's hitting on somewhere on some side. I know what's happening because we've talked about houses expanding and doors getting smaller and larger, and that's what's happening. Either the concrete is moving up and down on the porch, or the door itself is shrinking. So the odd thing is, when it first starts to get cold, you can grab the door handle and pull it up just a little bit, and it'll pop into place. The longer it stays cold, the more impossible it gets. I am to the impossible spot now. When it was warm, I put it back in place. And I told my wife, I said, don't let anybody through this front door until spraying. So what do you do about that? Is there a fix for it?
Yeah, there's a good way and a bad way.
Let's do the good way.
And here's what you don't want to do, because it'll cause you trouble long term. Most people will say, well, you need to adjust your strike plate, the little thing that the door. But if you take those 2 screws out and you try to move it and then screw it back in, next thing you know, you've wallered out that hole, and it becomes weak, and it gets to flopping, and you don't like that. Here's the way I would do it. This is the way I have done it. is I know you have a cordless drill.
I do.
You do. Go down to one of the local hardware stores and buy you a little grinding rock that's on a shaft.
Okay.
And some people, if you've got a Dremel, you can use that.
Yeah.
But
I don't, but a family member does.
all right, well, a Dremel works great. Well, a little grinding rock on the end of the shaft, and go in there and just gently grind that strike plate, and you cut it down a little bit. And if you get it to where you're right on the sweet spot and everything's working fine, go a little more.
Okay.
You're probably only talking 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to just barely.
And kind of waller it down, make the hole a little deeper, and then you'll find that no matter how much that door moves, whatever time of the year it is, it'll work regardless. And you just need to just give that plunger just a little more space to operate on.
Right.
But that will do it. But if you'll just grind that to make that a little bigger, you'll be all right. Now, you're going to be grinding down or up, depending upon which way your door is hitting.
Right.
Don't try to go out the sides of it either way, because you'll kind of mess up doing
So
that.
it would be the top part of
The top or the
hole
door.
or the bottom part.
In your case, it'll be the bottom, since you were picking up on the doorknob.
Yeah.
So it'll be the bottom of it. So just kind of, you give yourself another 1/8 of an inch and grind that out with a little bit, and you'll do just fine.
See, you just did something there that if the average person had the knowledge and took enough time to think, because I was thinking in my mind, now should I be grinding the top part or the bottom part? And I gave you the answer. I'm picking up on the door handle,
Yeah.
so it has to be the bottom part that's dragging.
There you go.
Duh. See, you make a living out of one word.
Now, but now I'm going to tell you another way to do it.
Okay.
If you, in your case, with your scenario,
Yeah.
open the door and go to the top hinge.
Right.
Take one screw out,
Okay.
and then go get you a 3-inch screw
Right.
that you'll run in with your cordless driver screw.
Right.
And you'll screw that in to where when you're going into your cripple, that's your 2x4 that's behind your jamb.
Right.
You want to actually screw that in to where you're pulling the door frame closer to the cripple. And when you do that, if you kind of get a mental image of this, it will turn the door up.
Yeah.
And that will do the same thing as grinding that latch out.
No matter which screw, there's usually four screws on
Yeah,
one
there's
of those?
normally 4 of them up
Top
there.
one, bottom one, one in
Just
the middle?
pick one. It don't make any
Don't
difference.
matter.
As long
Okay.
as it's all on the same hinge.
Yeah.
And if you'll do that, and what you're going to be doing is pulling that jamb a little closer to the wall.
To the wall, yeah, which makes sense. It kind of whampa-jaws
Yeah,
the door
and
just
it'll
a
lift
little
the
bit.
door up.
Yeah.
If you'll do that, that will probably solve your problem. Or
I'm getting confused
you
now.
can go
Yeah.
can go to the bottom hinge if you have the room to do this, and loosen all 4 screws on that hinge. Slide you a paper match in behind between the hinge
Right.
and the door frame, and then tighten them back up. In other words, you've pulled that hinge out,
Right.
just the thickness of a paper match.
Okay.
And that will rack that door too and pick it up.
Yeah.
That will take care of your problem.
So if you do it the bottom one, you're kicking the bottom of the door out, you're pulling the top of the door in.
That's right.
In toward the wall, being.
Either way, you're going to move
Yeah.
that strike, and that's going to solve your problem.
Cool.
Now, you're going to go home and do that. Now, call me and tell me if it works.
I will.
It
But
will
I
work.
can't do it right now. I have to wait till after Christmas
Oh.
because my front door is highly decorated.
How's Santa going to get in?
Down the chimney, of course.
Of course.
Yes, of course, of course.
It's amazing how he does that and he doesn't get his suit dirty.
I know. He's got a good cleaner.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell you what, speaking of good things and things that you don't have to work on very often,
Yeah.
if you get a fence put up by West End Fence Company, you're not going to have to mess with it at all, unless you want them to drill a hole in there for your hose to go through.
Well, that's okay, but you just tell them where to put it and they'll do it.
Yep. Actually, they did it without me even having to tell them to do it. But West End Fence Company, one of our sponsors here on Saturday mornings, and they do all kinds of fencing: wrought iron, ornamental iron, chain link, wood, vinyl. You see a lot of white vinyl fencing around these days.
And that's hard to come by.
Yeah, we found that out the hard way, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Well, it'd take about 4 months to get that one panel.
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
Yep, but it's there and it looks nice. So.
Yeah, it does. But they do a great job. And the thing of it is, and this is so important with people nowadays, they got the talented people that know what to do.
Yep. And they got the people that know that there is a benefit in taking care of your customer.
That's right.
Pride
in their work.
Yeah, the guys in the office all know that, but sometimes the crews that go out ain't got that down just yet. Not the case with West End Fence Company. They fix it. They do it right. They clean it up. You don't even know they've been there when it's gone, except you got a new, gorgeous fence.
That's right.
Keeps things in, keeps things out.
I've even seen them and they got their britches pulled up.
Look
like
out.
They know what they're
Look
professional.
out now.
Yeah.
They've been issued belts.
That ought to be the number one thing for Christmas is
What?
issue belts.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
these sagging drawers out
Right.
here.
Or if you need something to put in the stocking, a small canister of crack spackle would be a nice.
Crack spackle,
would be a
belts,
nice
and suspenders.
There we go.
That ought to be a
Hey, I got-
staple in every
I got
teenager's.
some of those right here.
Hey, there you go.
Ow, that hurt. West End Fence Company, they're great folks, seriously. They're easy to get along with. They do a great job. 2158 Hollywood Drive here in the city, 668-5959. Or for the sales department, it's Ricky Pennington, rpennington1 at yahoo.com.
I bet they never thought we'd ad-lib their commercial with butt spackle and suspenders and belts, do you?
Yeah, I was a little worried about that right about the time I heard it come out. So
No extra charge.
no extra charge, none whatsoever. Best dressed crew in the business.
There you go. Boy.
Oh, Lordy. Tricks of the Trade with John Allen this morning. We'd love for you to jump in, and I know you're probably out getting ready to go shopping this morning, but take your cell phone with you, and while you're waiting in line at the checkout counter, give us a call.
Oh, man, it's something. But, hey, I discovered something that's hard to do.
What's that?
You can't hide anymore.
That's true.
I went to a friend of mine and yours too. I had to slip around the house because I wanted to get an extra measurement. Didn't want to disturb nobody.
Yeah.
So I just parked in the front and I eased around the right side of the house, got my measurement, was on my way out to the truck, and all of a sudden she's standing out there in her pajamas. John, did you want something? I said, I didn't want to bother you. I was just getting a measurement so that what I ordered will fit in this hole. Well, I saw it on my Ring phone.
Yep.
Everybody's got a Ring phone right
Just
now,
about.
except me.
Just about.
And but apparently they just, I haven't really looked at those that closely to know really what all they do, but all these next door things that are on your cell phone, it seems like every city's got a nextdoor.com. Everybody puts all these pictures of predators and animals and that trip that thing off. Apparently motion does it. Is that true?
Yeah, I've had a large nocturnal bug set my camera off before to get in front of the lens, and it would set it off.
Well, the thing that seems to be the prominent thing down in Florida, for instance, which is where I keep track of several things down there, are bears.
Oh, yeah.
There are bears everywhere down there, especially in the Panhandle. And
That's not good.
well, no, but I mean, and then you got the people that say, shoot them, and the others say, no, that's my pet. And it's just.
That's why they're coming in there. They've been feeding them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not answering the door if there's a bear there.
No, I don't think so. It's a handy little thing to have in these days and times.
Well, it is. And is it true that it records things where you can go back and look?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to look into one of those.
Yeah, your son is the one that put me on to the Ring brand, and I think he's changed brand since then on his house. But
I don't know what he's got, but if it's new and different, I'm sure he's got it.
He might be able to pick up his old ones for a song, you know.
Hey, that's a thought.
There's an idea.
That's a thought.
Sorry, Josh, I just cost you some money.
That's all right. I think he appreciates his daddy right now
I would think he should.
because he had a problem this week.
No.
He did. He called me up, I think it was Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Dad, trouble in paradise. I said, what's the problem? He says, I don't have any hot water. I said, no kidding. And of course, when they have troubles, they expect instant service, and for me to drop everything I'm doing and come over there, and I just couldn't do it. I was out on a call, and actually I had to come to your show Thursday afternoon,
Yeah.
and so he had to wait till 2:30 for me to get over there.
Found out what the common man has to do.
There you go. There you go. So anyway, we get over there. Now, he's got one of these tankless water heaters. Mm-hmm. And they're wonderful things.
Yeah.
They really are.
Until
they don't work.
Unless your gas hookup is 100 feet away.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah, it gets a little expensive then.
That's right. But he had one of these things. Had one for all 10, 12 years. I remember when we put it in, and you know, they're maintenance free. They just do great things. But when they don't work, it's just like a chunk of copper stuck to the wall. I mean, it's useless.
Yeah.
And if you ever opened up the front of one of those things, it looks like something that come out of the space shuttle.
Oh, man.
I mean, they are like complicated, and you know, and they're expensive. And even when they don't work, they're expensive because there's so much copper in those things. They're worth about $60 a piece just on the scrap market.
Yeah.
Just for a dead one. But anyway, he had already prepared for my trip because he just knew in this throwaway society he's going to have another one.
Right.
He was counting his pennies and doing all this. And he called and found the new one, had it set on the counter down at the supply store, and got to looking at it. And while he's in there on the internet, I'm poking around inside of that thing, and I said, wait a minute, Josh. I said, I see something here, and if this works, we might save you a little money, but if it don't, call the paramedics, because it may blow. But I went back to the story where I was working on this cabin up in Camden, and we couldn't get the LED lights to go off. Mm-hmm. And we had to put a capacitor in the line to drain the power off the circuit boards.
Turn their excitement down.
That's right, right. And this one had a capacitor in there, and I looked at it, and the side was blown out of it, and there was little marks on it.
Right.
So I said, we don't need that. Maybe we can get by with that, because he found the part that we wanted.
Right.
And we wasn't going to get it until February.
Of course.
And he wasn't going to be without hot water, because Pookie wouldn't allow that.
No way.
She would pitch a fit taking a cold shower. And so I got in there and got down in it. Had to get down in the closet. That's where this was. It's not that big a closet. So I had to kind of wad up, turn sideways, and shift one way or the other. And we got down there, and I got my little light in there and got my screwdrivers in. And then I said, hey, Josh, I need 2 little bitty wire nuts. Well, we didn't have any little bitty wire nuts.
Of course.
So we made them. We just took the bigger ones and cut the sheathing off of them to cut them down. I wired them in, and I covered my face because I was fixed to flip the gas burner on, you know, said, what are you doing that for? I said, well, you know, I just want to lose my facial hair.
I want to save my eyebrows.
And we flipped it on, worked like a champ.
Wow.
So we're over there, you know, little ingenuity there, and everything's working fine, and we'll wait till his part gets here. But in the meantime, he don't have to go spend $1,500 for another water heater.
True. See, that's another one of those things. And I was talking about a while ago, the little thing that you picked up on, that you lift up on the door handle, it's the bottom, okay?
That's right.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing there. If you're not afraid to try something, if you've got the knowledge where you're not afraid to try something, you can save somebody some money and some time.
That's what I've told everybody. I don't care what industry you're in, and we'll just say construction. If you know why something's supposed to be the way it is, you can fix just about anything.
Yeah.
But you got to know why. People right now, they react.
Yeah.
And if it don't look, they just throw it away. But if you know why, you might figure out a better way to do it and a cheaper way to do it, and you'll be able to save yourself a whole lot of money.
True. Got a text coming in on the text line here. It says, we were talking about the striker plate and grinding it down. It says they make a cone-shaped burr bit that goes in your drill. Works great for grinding out stricken plates.
That's exactly right.
It says, I've got them at Lowe's. They're Hitachi brand.
They will work, and they're cheap too.
Yeah.
A couple of bucks and you can get one of those. But that's exactly what I was talking about, and I appreciate the texter for sending that in here because sometimes I know what they are, and when you don't know the name, you call them doohickeys and whatchamacallits and all that stuff.
Which confuses the folks at the store even further.
That's right. They don't know the difference in the two. But anyway, that's just a little old ingenuity. You can kind of figure it out. True. So that's great.
Appreciate that, Texter. I'm headed that way when the show is over. One of our other great sponsors for the entire year here on Tricks of the Trade is our good friend Stormy out at Economy Siding and Windows. And like everybody else, I'm sure he's been very busy lately, and I'm sure the tornado damage around this part of the world is going to keep him busy for a while. Well,
and he's busy on another front too. Stormy has become a pretty good Santa's helper.
Oh, really?
Yes, he has. His debut was this week, and he was helping out and getting to greet the children, and got a little soggy Thursday night.
I bet.
It was really nasty. Wet down there and nasty, but he's going to be back today and does great. But Stormy was telling me there is a bad shortage right now of materials. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, prices are going to go through the roof after the first of the year. Vinyl's going to go up 25-30%, wow. He's told. And metal, like you trim your overhangs and around your windows and all that out, just getting the metal is very, very hard. And anything other than white, you really got to wait for it. So we've definitely got a supply problem right there. And but if you plan enough ahead, and we're going to try to get into a little planning episode in the last segment of the show.
Right.
You can get around a lot of these supply problems if you'll just think far enough ahead. So if you're thinking about doing something like what Stormy does, and they're the best in town in doing it, just plan ahead a little bit to give them time to get everything they need before they start doing it. And that way that job will run just smooth as silk. But they're great people to have. They know exactly what to do, been doing it for a long time. They're all trained professionals, and, they got belts and suspenders too. They'll come to your house where the drawer's pulled up. So
there you go. And leave the same way.
That's right.
Yeah. Stormy out at Economy Siding and Windows, 422-3828 or economysiding.com. Guarantee he'll do you a great job when he can get his materials.
That's right.
Man, everybody's being hit by that. But give Stormy a call. He's a great guy. We're going to take another commercial break. We'll be back with more on Tricks of the Trade.
We're going to be making the most classic bourbon cocktail known to man, the Mint Julep. Became the official cocktail of the Kentucky Derby in 1938. This cocktail is the Gold Rush. Today we'll be using bourbon instead.
Today we're gonna make an old-fashioned cocktail, one of the most classic bourbon cocktails there are, and it tastes good for breakfast. With the Kentucky Mule, we are going to swap out that vodka for Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Called the Boulevardier, and we beef up the bourbon because it's Kentucky, and that's what we do here. Now to do a modern twist. Sometimes it's hard to do a variation on a classic cocktail because a lot of them are so good. An obvious place to go from there for a variation is a bourbon shake.
So now we're going to take that Kentucky Sour and put a very fun, modern edge on it. But if you are the adventurous type, it is a delicious drink. And that is what I call a bittersweet bourbon sour. Cheers.
Looking for an easy way to compare bids from contractors you can trust? Search bbb.org for the type of work you need, then request a quote. Just click Get Quotes. You'll soon receive estimates from BBB accredited businesses. Businesses which meet BBB standards of trust. Peace of mind is just one search away. BBB. Start with trust.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Join the movement. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Saturday morning in Jackson, Madison County, Tennessee. It is Tricks of the Trade with John Allen. Don't forget those text numbers, 277-5155, 410-7560 with a 731 out front. The call-in line, the Old Town Spaghetti Store hotline, 731-423-8101.
Couple other little things I want to pass on to folks this morning, especially after last weekend's storm. There are areas around town that got a little bit of wind, especially out in the Beach Bluff area, and a lot of significant damage out there, as there is in other parts of the state and farther north of us. But the question always comes up, how do you know you got damage? And that's when your insurance agent is invaluable in trying to help you out to see what damages you have. But you don't want to just automatically call your insurance agent sometimes, because the rules are a little different on homeowners insurance right now. If you file a claim, even though you don't have any damages, it still counts against you. And you don't want to run the risk of having your homeowner's insurance canceled because you've had a claim. So that's where a relationship with a good contractor, someone that you trust, is very valuable. Not just a guy coming down the street in a pickup truck with a new sign on the side of it that's going to try to sell you something even though you don't have damage. But get somebody you know and trust to come out and take a look at your home. Roofs are a little deceiving sometimes. Now, you see the TV pictures of where people's shingles are just all blown off.
Sure.
But now you can have damage on your roof and not really know it. Even if the shingles are not blown off, they can be lifted. And next thing you know, you're looking up at your roof and you'll see the edge of your shingles all up, and a little further investigation is that there's debris up under the tabs of the shingles. Now that happens a lot when you've got what's called an old-fashioned 3-tab shingle. Doesn't happen that often with architectural shingles because the entire shingle seals down on your roof. But if you look up and you see your roofing is a little wavy or uneven, or you see some shingles that are jacked up and they're not supposed to be, you might want to get it checked out a little bit and make sure who goes up there takes pictures and proves what the problem is. Don't just necessarily take the word for it. And then if you're not really happy or you're a little skeptical, get you a second opinion. It always does good to do that. And that way you won't get ripped off. But whether it's siding damage, roofing damage, there's a lot of that out there from these straight line winds. And even on siding, you know, when you nail siding on, you don't nail it on hard.
Yeah.
You just leave a little gap between the head of that nail and to where the siding can move. But if that nail has been pulled out more and there's a hump in the wall, or where it locks in place is loose and you've got some just kind of flapping in the wind, you may have a little more damage there than you suspect. So it might be a time to get that checked out. Just be careful out there.
Absolutely. You know, there's an old song about Christmas. All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
Yep.
I got them a long time ago. Been kind of lean seasons ever since then. But a lot of people out there is thinking, you know, two front teeth would be good, but a nice metal building to keep my four-wheeler in would be even better.
I was wondering how you was going to make that transition from teeth.
So was
Man,
I.
we're all over the board this
So
morning.
was I. But if you're looking for a metal building, or you want to expand your metal building, or whatever the case may be, maybe you need a new roof on your metal building. Quality Outdoor Products out at Three-Way, the sovereign nation of Three-Way, as
That's
we
right.
refer to it. They can help you with that.
They sure can, and the good thing about them is they know what they're doing, so that you don't buy something that you don't want. But
Right.
they can kind of think ahead and look at the situation you got at your house, and help you plan a building accordingly. And maybe you have had a little wind damage from this storm, and you need some panels that to match. If you'll take them a piece of that metal, and they can match the color on that. May be faded a little bit because of age, but it'll really be the same color. Keep in mind that new piece will fade too.
Yep.
And you'll be able to find what you need in the pattern that you need. You know, most stores, they only carry one or two different kinds of metal, and there you are looking like, you know, something that's mismatched. But they can help you out there with any kind of damage you got, or if you want to build a building, and it's time to get a new place to put your stuff when you get through Christmas, they can flat help you out right there.
Absolutely.
So give them a call, and if you really want something interesting, go out there when you place your order and watch them make it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That you walk out in that little shed in the back, and the sparks are flying, and the people are just like little elves out there. They're just running around and bending this and cutting that and making a little racket and taking perfectly good straight pieces of metal and shoving them into a big metal thing, and it comes out all curly on the other end.
Yeah.
It looks just like that piece of metal that you're wanting to buy.
Good thing is it's curly in the right spots.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. If I had my hands on it, it'd be curly all right. They are great folks. They do a great job. They can even, if you're ordering a building and you're planning on putting it up yourself, they can have everything you need put together, the metal roofing, the components, the trim, everything together and ready for you to come and pick it up the same day in a lot of cases. If you want them to deliver it, they'll take care of that business for you too.
They'll even put it up.
They'll even put it up for you. Absolutely. Quality Outdoor Products, 888-485-5372, out on the bypass in the Three-Way. We got to take one more break, and then we'll come back and put a big old bow on this morning's show.
Hey, Tennessee, I'm Kix Brooks. You know, I've been blessed to tour this nation from sea to shining sea. And every time that bus rolls back across the state line, I'm reminded how good we have it here in our home state. Whether you like to hunt, fish, or watch wildlife, we got our Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency to thank for it. But before you follow that red dirt road to your favorite fishing hole or hunting spot, there's one thing you need, a license. Just visit GoOutdoorsTennessee.com and you can get your license in minutes.
We're going to be making the most classic bourbon cocktail known to man, the Mint Julep. Became the official cocktail of the Kentucky Derby in 1938. This cocktail is the Gold Rush. Today we'll be using bourbon instead.
Today we're going to make an old-fashioned cocktail, one of the most classic bourbon cocktails there are, and it tastes good for breakfast. With the Kentucky Mule, we are going to swap out that vodka for Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Called the Boulevardier, and we beef up the bourbon because it's Kentucky, and that's what we do here. Now to do a modern twist. Sometimes it's hard to do a variation on a classic cocktail because a lot of them are so good. An obvious place to go from there for a variation is a bourbon shake.
So now we're going to take that Kentucky Sour and put a very fun, modern edge on it. But if you are the adventurous type, it is a delicious drink. And that is what I call a bittersweet bourbon sour. Cheers.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Join the movement. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
We're about 4 minutes away from wrapping up this edition of Tricks of the Trade. In fact, wrapping it up not only for this weekend, but for the year of 2021.
One little tip I want to pass on to you,
Yes, sir.
and I fussed about this in previous shows, how the so-called white coats got in the middle of the faucet business.
Oh, yeah.
And made a perfectly good thing over-engineered. You know, people have got these faucets now that you can touch them and the water comes on, or you grab it by the spout and it pulls out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've created a problem in doing so. On these pull-out spouts, people will pull them out, and if you'll just kind of watch somebody use one, they will twist their wrist a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And over a period of time, that head of that faucet will come loose from the braided hose that's inside the shaft. So people call up and they say, I got water running down in my cabinet. And you say, okay. So you go over there and you look under there and you check all the plumbing pipes, bone dry, not a problem. Turn the water on, and in a few minutes, drip, 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 goosh, and here it comes out.
Yep.
And it's all because the head of your faucet is coming unscrewed from the braided hose that you were pulling out.
Yeah.
So with the holidays here and going to be in the kitchen a whole lot, or at least I hope you are, not the drive-through, you might want to check that faucet if it's leaking. And another thing, these big old tall faucets that people have now with the big goosenecks and the pull-out stuff, you get to touching them and the whole faucet starts rocking back and forth. And it just rattles sometimes. And you wonder what in the world's wrong with that. Well, if you'll get down in your cabinet with a pair of pliers, the nut that holds the faucet to the sink works itself loose. And you don't need a new faucet. All you got to do is go in there and tighten the nut up. Normally it'll just take about a half or three-quarter of a turn, and it'll be nice and snug again.
Yep.
Little trouble getting your wrench up in there.
Yeah.
And if you went and bought one of those little devices like I told you to free your garbage disposal, a basin wrench is what it's called.
Yep.
That's a perfect little device that'll reach up in there and hook that nut, and you can tighten it up, and you won't have to talk ugly.
Keeping it from slapping around on you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that'll be a good thing right there.
Well, that's a good thing to know, because that does happen.
It happens a lot, and there's no need to call a plumber on that, although he'll take your money. I mean, we get calls on that all the time, but go ahead and try that yourself. It'll be a good thing to do.
All righty. I think I'm beginning to hear some music out there.
Look at there.
There it is.
How about that? Knows how to do that.
It does. It does.
Well, I do want to take a minute now to tell everybody out there, Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Hope you have a great Christmas and a wonderful New Year, and let's just kick 2021 in the rear end and start off nice.
Kick it to the curb.
Kick it to the curb along with the old cedar tree and start over fresh.
You got it, man. It's been fun. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.